I remember when I was still in Papua New Guinea, around this time of Easter, some of the other churches, one in particular I won't mention the name of, the people used to talk about Good Friday, whereas I would be always thinking about Easter. And I wondered why they called it Good Friday and what the difference was. You're with Mission Alive. This is Roger from the MSC Mission Office. I wondered about Good Friday because, and I realised through that and other experiences, we are resurrection people. We're not Good Friday people. Good Friday is part of the process of life, death and life. And what gives Christianity its life is the resurrection. When people saw him, when the women, Mary Magdalene and the others, saw him at the tomb and afterwards, they ran back and they said, "He is risen. He is alive." And the disciples at Emmaus, they also ran all the way back to Jerusalem and said, "We have seen him. He is alive. He is risen." That was the message. Not Good Friday. The only thing that came out of Good Friday for the apostles and the disciples was they were frightened and they hid away in the upper room. That's what Friday produced in them. The resurrection produced life. He is risen. And then Pentecost, the Spirit of the risen Christ, gave them great confidence, great strength, so they could go out and address hundreds, thousands of people. They could stand up to the leaders. They could stand up in court. They could cure, as Peter and John did, as Peter did on the steps of the temple. He had the power and the confidence in him in the name of Jesus to cure. That's what the resurrection produced. And that was what Jesus said, "Go out and proclaim the good news." This was a major part of the good news. This was the good news, that he is risen. And so they went out. This was the beginning of their mission. Their mission, the commission, the order to go out, gave them life, gave them energy, gave them confidence. So they went out. Paul and Barnabas went to the Greeks. Philip went to the Ethiopian. I always presume that when he went to Ethiopia. And there is still today a Christian church down there in Ethiopia. Thomas went to India. And so on went the mission of the church to more and more places. The churches that were founded in the Middle East, in Syria, in Iran, in Persia as it was then, they became missionary. And they went out. They went east. And in that eastern part of Eurasia, even into China, there were thriving Christian communities for hundreds of years. So the mission went out. And then you had Gregory the Great sent Augustine to England, Augustine of Canterbury, to take the good news there. And there was Patrick went to Ireland. And from Ireland, the monks went back into the north of Europe, into what is now Germany. Cyril and Methodius went off to the Slavs. And so the work continued, the proclaiming, the mission. And the history, like that, the history of mission is a fascinating story, And as I've said before, the story of Luke in the Acts, the story that Luke wrote in the Acts of the Apostles is a story of the church, the message moving from Jerusalem to Rome. And you've only got to even just flip through, go through the headings, and you'll see the progression of that story. So there's some great stories of missionaries in that long history of mission. And there's stories going on still today of missionaries going out. not only from Europe, but from all other places where there's church, where the Catholic Church exists. We are sending missionaries out to other places and going out in our own societies to those who are unreached, who have not yet believed. So the mission has been alive for a long time, and it is still alive, and it will still be alive for a long time. Thank you for being part of the mission.